Welcome to Hard Hats and Horizons, the podcast where we dig deep into the construction and economic developments shaping the future of Dallas-Fort Worth. We bring you insights from industry leaders and visionaries who are driving growth in North Texas. From construction projects to industry trends and insights, we cover it all. So grab your hard hat and join us as we explore the people and projects shaping the skyline of DFW. Now, here is your host, Andrea Pender.
Okay, Shirley, thanks for coming to the Hard Hats and Horizons podcast. I'm super excited to have you on. We've known each other for a long time now. For everyone that doesn't know Shirley, she is the Field Marketing and PR Strategist for Zweig. And so why don't you start us off? I know you have an interesting story, so tell us where you started and how you ended up in your current role.
Yeah, and thank you, Andrea, for inviting me. That's I'm very is the word humbled or honored?
Yeah.
Thank you. And now I'm very nervous. I don't know if other guests do better. But my story, I didn't start in the industry right away. So when I went to school, I was an international student. So when I was choosing a major, I was thinking about job security. So I went into the medical field. I was in a clinical laboratory for more than 11 years until I have an early onset midlife crisis. And then took a year off, really find my personal statement, talk to friends that do different things, and eventually through a good friend, Vince Tam, she's an architect, here, connected me to the industry. So I started at the AIA Dallas. We're now 8 years ago, and then I've grown so much. Like learned to see the built environment very differently. Appreciate a lot more things like the city around us, the infrastructure, planning, and all of that too. So yeah, and then Zweig Group. Then I've been with them for 4 years. Then the experience here, it's learning what business is all about, entrepreneurship. And I never knew what people that go to business school do, and now I do. They're not just people that want to have fun. They do contribute to.
So for those of us that don't know, tell us kind of what Zweig does. I feel like I've known about Zweig forever, but give us a little commercial on what Zweig does.
Zweig Group, it's a management consulting company. That's the shortest. Yeah. But what we do is really help AEC firms do better business, more efficient, more profitable. I think we sometimes, especially our architect friends, the word profit feels dirty sometimes. So want to make sure that it's not. You can't do a lot of good things if you're not profitable. So that's our goal. So we offer consulting services on strategic planning. We also do a lot of actually M&A, so valuation and M&A services. And then we also do an awards program. So we have Rising Star Awards that we're about to announce the winners of.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, we have the Rising Stars Award. We have the biggest number of submissions this year.
Oh, wow.
This year of the awards.
Nice.
Yeah, and then still open for submission is best firm to work for. We've had that running for many years now, decades. So employee experience is what we assess. And then another award we have is hot firms, and that's strictly profitability through a period of 3 years. And those are our award program.
And then while you've been there, you got a women's initiative going. So talk to us a little bit about that and then where it's kind of moved to now.
Yeah, so the reason I joined Zweig Group was actually because of the Elevate Her program, Elevate Her initiative. I believe it was during COVID and when the AIA Dallas, so that's where I used to work, had a DEI task force. And then Jamie Claire Kaiser from Zweig Group, she was the managing director at the time. She came to she became part of that DI task force at DAIA Dallas. That's how I actually first heard about Zweig Group. So when I left DAIA Dallas, I'm like, let me check what Jamie Claire Kaiser is up to. She's an amazing woman. So long story short, I joined Zweig Group because of Elevate Her, and then I made my way to becoming the person that helps run the initiative. So Elevate Her, it's been 5 years now. In this year would have been the 6th year, but we've taken a break.
Okay.
And we also have like a lot of leadership meetings decided that Elevate Her has basically outgrown what Zweig Group can do for it. And we needed infrastructure to help the program grow to its full potential. And it just felt like, once again, Zweig Group is a 25 full-time employee company. We just haven't had the capacity to help it reach its full potential. So lucky for us, SMPS is interested in being that next phase of the program. So exact details hasn't been sorted out yet, but we're all very optimistic and excited that now it has a new home that has an infrastructure that could deploy the deliverables, the program, the projects that have come out.
And that's really exciting. And so SMPS was a big part of my life. I spent a lot of time doing the SMPS. I was on committees. I did the whole president thing. But that's really where so many of my closest friends originally came from, in the industry, because we all would go to the meetings and we would learn so much. So I think it's a perfect fit. And right, wrong, or indifferent, there's a lot of women in SMPS holding those marketing roles. And so I feel like that's kind of a perfect group to take it over.
Yeah. And it also, so Elevate Her ends up Elevate Her, you could think about it as a leadership program, like one of those year-long programs where you meet a bunch of your peers and then you work on projects together. That is like the structure of it. But the projects that you work on would be something that helps alleviate the recruitment and retention crisis in the industry. So the program ends up having a lot of HR professionals and also a lot of technical professionals like EITs.
Oh, that's interesting.
And PEs and architects. So there is this transition to SMPS. We thought about how to we're working on the messaging that this is not straightly for marketing professionals, and then it's also a good opportunity, I suppose, for SMPS to expand their membership base too. But then that leads me into thinking like we need to talk more about marketing professionals in our industry. I feel like we get stereotyped into just cranking out proposals and then
overhead,
and then we take them for granted too. We need something. Hey, throw it at the marketing team, which is usually 1 or 2 people. And then expect them to crank out something perfect in the next 2 hours. But I one thing I really do appreciate about Zweig Group, our CEO, Chad Kleinhans, he used to be CMO at a very large engineering company. And he is also PE, so he's a rare.
Interesting.
He's a
unicorn.
Yeah. And out of the 20-something full-time staff at Zweig Group now, 8 of us belong to the marketing team. So, and I think that contributes so much to how much we stand out from our competitors. Our branding speaks volumes, really. So I suppose I want to change the narrative about AEC marketing professionals. I want us to start being able to see us as growth professional. We a lot of us turns to from marketing, we grow into a BD and
Mhm.
sometimes sales,
Mhm.
and then from there to growth officers or strategy
Mhm.
CSOs. And I want us to start treating all our new um, emerging professionals that way, that is a path that they're capable
Mhm.
and can grow into,
Mhm.
and not just like cranking out proposals.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting too because some people love it, and we need those people that love to put those proposals together.
There's a thrill, yes.
Some people, I mean, they really love it, and that's wonderful. But it's interesting too because sometimes they're like, "Well, I'm just doing X, Y, Z," and it's like, well, that may be your task, but you're great at it, you know. So quit taking the just. You are doing proposals. You're winning work for the firm. You're giving us all paychecks at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
Overhead versus investment. I think if we just change the words are so important.
I like that a lot.
Do you need reliable, high-quality service for your commercial project? Choose Carrco, the most trusted contractor in commercial painting, drywall, and floor coatings in DFW. With over 30 years of experience, Carrco delivers top-tier craftsmanship across Texas. From expert painting and seamless drywall and durable floor coatings, we handle it all, on time and on budget. Transform your space with the professionals at Carrco. Visit carcopainting.com today. Carrco, where quality meets reliability.
Yeah.
That is interesting because when I did a lot more marketing, I mean, I have been told I was overhead countless times, and it's like, well, but you still have to have me. So I don't know why you're mad that yeah. It's definitely interesting. What are some like key moments or challenges that you have had in your career or in your life?
Whoa. I think that career change still, I think about it sometimes as a hurdle. Like I wish I had started or stuck with the same career path the whole way. I felt like I would have gotten further. I'm in my early 40s now, and like sometimes on like low days, I would think, other people my age are so much further ahead.
But would you be happy?
I'm not sure. I don't think the experience would be as, I don't think I would see, I appreciate what I learned from my medical career too. Like understanding like what hourly work feels like, clocking in, clocking out. That was a big one for me. I hate it. That was the conclusion. But and then yeah, I think every detour, I guess, our path takes, just get something out of it.
It's interesting, and I feel like Dallas, especially, it's easy to compare. You know, I mean, there's a lot of comparing that you can do, like what if, what if, what if. But this is where you're at now, and I'm sure glad that you left the medical field because I never would have met you before.
Yeah, I think working in the lab is just not quite the personality. We're not quite a match for my personality.
Yeah, I can't picture you there at all.
Like to be everywhere.
What are some things that have motivated you or some lessons that you have learned along the way?
I think learn the opportunity to learn different things is a realization. I knew I like to learn. I didn't know how much. So at a smaller company like Zweig Group, there's a lot of, is it called horizontal or lateral learning to do. And then thing, another interesting thing, I suppose, is I don't actually have a marketing background. So these are things that I've picked up along the way, working at associations and just being at small small companies, wearing different hats.
I think that's the case. I mean, so many of my SMPS friends that I've mentioned, everybody has such an interesting story.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've met anyone who went to college to do marketing for somebody in commercial real estate. Like they don't exist.
Yeah.
And so many of them, like Kathy Hutchison, she started out at the front desk, and then she was vice president of IDBRI, and then they combined with Solis O'Brien. But it's like, gosh, like she started at the front desk. I mean, there's several stories of I started at the front desk and then I moved into here. And I mean, I didn't go to school for marketing. I was an English major, and then I owned my own business previously, which you have to know how to market if you own your own business. Exactly. So, yeah, I think there is a lot of on the job, on the fly training.
That growth mindset. Like now we have all these words for
we didn't have those 20 years ago.
Yeah, like this. So it's very LinkedIn cliche, but it is growth mindset and
Mm-hmm. Talk to us a little bit about mentorship and how that has helped you over the years.
I have had one official, like I participated in one official mentoring program.
Okay.
And that was the one that I felt like it didn't work.
Okay.
What I end up being most beneficial to my career has been like meeting people like you, and then my actually my coach at my paddling club. She's a CMO.
Oh, nice.
So just meeting people and knowing what they do, and then talking to them specifically what I noticed that they're good at. So like a very proactive role on my part to just seek out, and that has been proven most helpful to me. I've never officially called you or Christine a mentor, but I text, and every time I'm at like a crossroad career wise, I text, I call, and
and talk it out.
And even Christine's not in this industry, but she has seen a lot. It's always helpful. It's applicable.
Nice.
Across industries.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Tell us something that was surprising in your journey to what are you guys seeing for industry trends, or are there any specific challenges that you guys are facing or your clients are facing?
Very interestingly, last week, Zweig Group has a executive roundtable event. So it was, and that was intended to be a small group. So we have, I think, about 15 or 18 executive level participants from architecture firms and engineering firms around the country. And one of the topics that we talked about was, hey, how are you feeling? I personally was surprised to find that everyone is actually still very calm and optimistic.
Okay.
And that's not just from the people from Texas, like all the firms.
Oh, nice. Oh, good.
We're cautious, but we seem, I think the consensus there is that this is just temporary. Like the uncertainty is temporary. We will get through this, and the backlog that we all enjoyed or struggle, depending on, will carry us through this short rocky period. And then I don't actually run the company, so it was good for me to hear.
Nice.
I heard that they're not cutting, maybe slower in hiring, but they're not cutting much of their expenses or overhead in
Nice.
a way. Like everyone's still just going strong. So I think that's the beauty of our industry.
You mentioned with the Elevate Her, you use the word crisis, hiring crisis, no, retention. Like crisis is a pretty big word. So did any of that retention or hiring come up at that meeting?
It continues to be a topic, but I think we've now learned to pivot a little bit to rely probably on AI and technology to solve some of that, but also just continuing to make our industry one that people want to be a part of. And that goes back to the marketing piece. I went to another meeting last month, and it is specifically to solve, it's the Engineering Workforce Consortium that I was a part of. And the room there, the conclusion basically is that we need to rebrand AEC as a whole. We can't continue to look like nerds, that it's just do math at their desk.
It's so interesting too, because we obviously were in the industry. We love it. We're always trying to recruit people in.
Yeah.
You don't have any skills, we'll train you. Please come join our industry. And it's interesting because, like, why are we branding them as nerds? Like, why? It's totally a thing. Like, it's a thing, and it's unfortunate because we have some really cool people in this industry, and I would say it is few and far between where that is what you get.
Yeah, and so I think I'm hoping that we'll, with some marketing geniuses, and we put our brains together, then start training the next generation of talents that this is the cool industry. This is where you change the world. This is where you build the world. Literally build the world.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that goes back to, that obviously the guys and gals need to learn the math. They need to learn all of the stuff to make everything work. But I wonder if that's when at the college level we need to bring in more of those soft skills, like the public speaking classes. I went back a few years ago to Purdue, and I was a guest lecturer at a handful of classes, and I gave them like a BD presentation, and there was a kid in the front row, and he mouthed, "I'm so scared," which made me laugh. And so I laughed. He was in the front. There was like, I don't know, 250 people in this class, and they're like, "What are you laughing at?" And I'm like, "Well, he just told me he's scared." And I said, "Guys, you are not going to be heads down with your calculator all day long. Like, you have to interact." And I wonder if that's the part that, we all do recruiting fairs and we're out there. And not that we want it to be like, and we have a baseball team and we play kickball. Like, it can't be like that. But I think some of those fun, enjoyable things need to come up a little bit more in the classroom.
In the classroom, and also what a lot of the like research has shown, what keeps people in the job is especially the younger generation, it's a sense of purpose. And like the work is meaningful. We just need to put that in front, like make that the front and center, the selling point. And then anyone with any skills, like you said, there's a way. It's once again growth mindset. Get you there, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because if you talk to people in our industry, we are all so proud of, I built that.
Yes.
And you didn't build it. You maybe did the drawing for it. You did the marketing for it. But you were like, my team made this happen. And it's so exciting to drive through the city and be like, I was a part of this, or my friend Shirley was a part of that, or my friend Patty did that, And so, but I don't know if you can feel that pride until you do it. Because I think it's one of those things like when you're little and your parents are, oh, I did, okay, whatever. Like, yeah. So maybe it's just one of those things where they just get in and experience it and know how cool it is.
Or if you have an uncle or a parent, a cousin that did it, that would be really cool too. So we just need our technical professionals to go to more schools to interact with children.
Yeah.
One of the projects that came out of Elevate Her, it's called Dream Big. So they created these cartoon characters of like different professions in our industry with a backstory. And
nice.
That. So during spring break, there is actually an activation with these characters in Florida's Children's Museum. That was
that's neat.
So we designed with the characters in mind. We designed, so this is an MEP? We did a scavenger hunt designed like around this museum. This is what
that's
that
neat.
Engineer, this character, this job would do.
That's cool.
And so that was these are fun things to bring back, and we were able to recruit local engineers from local firms to be the facilitator.
Oh, that's neat.
The tour guide of the whole spring break camp.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really
That-
cool moment too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool. Well, and I don't think people really realize it. Every time we flip a switch, every time we turn on the water, I mean, we are using
Yeah.
these skills every minute of the day.
So we just need
Yeah.
to tell children that this is what you could do.
Okay. Yeah, this is a new initiative that we need to get going
Get
even
going.
more. Let's see. What are you most passionate about in your job right now?
Right now, I
And what are some of your future goals? If that
Yeah.
helps you answer that.
my role has pivoted quite a bit. Actually, all along, my whole time at Zweig Group, it's like the key word
Growth mindset.
growth mindset or change, and then some days I describe it as chaos,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
it's
Organized chaos.
it's growth too. What I'm passionate about, we have a lot of seminars that we host, and I think that's probably one of the pieces that I enjoy the most. I really genuinely felt like we brought the best content to similar topics. So like one of them, for example, is happening next week here in town called the Principals Academy, like a little MBA for new principals or new firm owners.
Mhm.
Just crash course on all the things that that you need to be thinking about,
Mhm.
including transition, even though you're just coming onto it.
That's huge.
Yeah, like what makes sense for you
Mhm.
to start with that mindset too. So like building a foundation, offering a solid foundation to these new principles, and even covering very fundamental financial basics.
Mhm.
Those are so critical. We both have a lot of friends that start their own firm and just not.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about, and I'm excited to bring our content. I feel like it is genuinely helping
Nice.
people, and I hope it's a plug. You should look up. You should look up learning opportunities at Zweig Group.
Mhm.
And I also see myself as a talent manager for our consultants. I'm very nosy about the content they're creating, but also very critical. It's like, tell me what have you created? And just so that I could sell to different conferences. I
Right.
can promote them, and
Right.
it needs to be in my head, and I want to be really eloquently be able to describe why this conference or convention will benefit from the content that we have to
Right.
offer.
Right.
So I guess I've never talked about it actually, and I can feel me getting excited. So
Nice.
thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Kind of switching topics here. I know the answers to a lot of these things, but some of our viewers and listeners may not. Tell me about your hobbies outside of work.
How much time do we have? I really enjoy paddling. I have never been an athlete my whole life. And then about 15 years ago, I discovered this sport called dragon boating. And that was actually through volunteering at an event locally.
Nice.
And then found the team. And then fast forward 12 years, I get to be on Team USA Dragon Boat, represented a country for the first time in my life. I was referred to as an athlete.
I love it. That's awesome.
Never dreamt of it. That really changed my life too. I think community means a lot to me. I found that, and I think the paddling sports community has been is perfect. If you like to travel and you like be around people and you like the water and you like challenges, it's just perfect. I think we have a hashtag, have paddle will travel.
Oh, I love it.
And that's the life.
Yeah. It's been so fun because I don't know anyone else that does this, you know? And I'm like, what is this sport? And then you see these cool pictures, and then tell a little bit about the event that you organized last year.
It's coming right up. So locally, my paddling club that I've been with since the beginning, it's called the Dallas United Crew, and we're based in Bright Rock Lake. So little did I know that within the Dallas proper, there has never been any AAPI,
Which stands for
Asian American Pacific Islander, like events or celebration. So the city of Dallas has been wanting to do something like the parks and the cultural department. So somehow 2 years ago now, the city of Dallas decided to do one at the bathhouse, and then which is right next door to our paddling club. So when we heard of that, we're like, hey, why don't we also contribute to this part, like add an additional element to your event that you're planning? So it was just the perfect match. So you will see Dragon Boat racing, which originated from China 2,000 years ago, actually. That eventually in the 70s turned into a competitive sport. But so you will see that on the water, while like at the bathhouse there's cultural, like there are performances, there'll be cultural tea ceremony, there's exhibition about the Dallas Asian history. And then near the trees you will see vendors, so good food and all that. So I hope everybody comes out May 18th and
Nice.
just spend a day there. Bring your picnic chair or blanket and you can spend the day.
So what I really love about Shirley is she tells everyone about the dragon boat racing. And it's so intriguing. Everyone tell me more. Like, I don't know anyone who does this. And so last year
Yes,
we put a team together
yes.
and we were called
The Motley Crew.
the Motley Crew. That's right, the Motley Crew. And so it was people who our only requirement was to come to one practice and commit to coming the day of the race. And
Yes.
so I met Caddy there, who's with Skyles Group. She was just on the podcast also. And so we've gotten to know each other so well. And so we laughed and we're like, well, we're up for trying anything once.
Yeah.
And so I asked on the podcast, well, how many practices did you go to? And she goes, one. How many did you go to? And I said, one. And so it was just fun to be a part of something that you could do it with just what you might. Obviously, we were not great, but we could do it with just one practice, and everybody was super welcoming and nice.
Yeah.
And then I saw like paddling Shirley, who was telling us that we needed to paddle faster. I was like, ooh, I remember in the middle, like, who's this Shirley? I don't know her. But it's so nice to have things that you're passionate about. And then ultimately you wrapped it back around to your people, in the community.
I can't wait. I'm gonna bring more industry friends. It is my hopes and dreams to somehow combine the two things together.
I love it.
I can do like an industry cup one day.
Oh, we're going big here.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, different firms or even different organizations. Maybe I can convince the AA Dallas to bring one. Maybe the ASC can bring it, and yes,
Nice.
see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will need your help though.
And Caddy's help.
And Caddy. I want everyone to know that Andrea's team last year, they medaled.
We were so excited.
It was so cool.
I have it hanging on my mirror in the bathroom because I was like, this was a big deal. And I
It's a big deal. And it's it was the inaugural event, so that medal is not gonna be reproduced. Like we have a different medal each year.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's really pretty.
Yeah, we made them.
I'll make sure to put, you'll have to give me the information, but I'll make sure to put all the crew information in the show notes. So if people are interested, then they can find you on there. Who or what inspires you the most?
I listened to how I built this.
Oh, yeah.
Religiously. So I think I didn't know that, but I think there's some kind of entrepreneur spirit in me. I'm hoping that someday I'll be one. And so being at Zweig Group too, being exposed to like that, constantly exposed to more and more entrepreneurs, it's been I've been learning.
Is that the podcast where he ends every episode with how much do you think it's luck and how much is hard work?
Yeah.
Is that So what do you think? Your career, how much of it was luck and how much of it was hard work?
Luck. I think a lot of it is luck, like meeting the right people. But that also has to be, you have to say yes to things. You have to show up for things. And once you say yes, do it. Yeah, so luck, but also just be reliable, I think. That's the key. Hard work, we'll find a way around hard work. I think now we're resourceful. Now we have AI. So maybe the work doesn't need to be as hard as it used to be. Like, and I mean that in the most like encouraging way. I don't want people to feel like they don't have enough time or it's a burden to if they have other responsibility, like there are ways around.
It could be more efficient.
Yes, efficient. That's way better than telling people to not work hard. That's right. Thank you.
Okay, so moving on to quick fire round, which is never quick because then I keep asking more questions. What was the last book that you read?
It was the it was the tipping point revision. Or
Tipping point. So he just had a new one come out, and I just read it, and I also cannot remember the name of it, but it was interesting.
Yeah. So like we could be wrong, and then he felt like he did that book. There was a lot of mistakes that he made, so he'd go back and study the topic again, and now it has a new perspective. And I enjoy that.
I love everything he writes. It's so interesting. And I'm not like, oh, let me read all this science. Like, I don't want to do that. But he brings all this in and it's fascinating and it's really interesting.
And his audiobooks is just the best. Like, I think it's a full production. It felt like a podcast. He's great. He's the first one to do it this way. I think to do an audiobook this way.
Okay.
And then more and more people start doing it this way.
Yeah.
Instead of just a recorded version of written words.
Yeah. Nice.
Appreciate it.
What is your favorite quote?
I would say not a quote, but something I live by. It's probably gonna be how I die too. It's how hard can it be?
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Cause so you're up for trying anything.
I'm up for it.
I love it. What is a skill you would like to learn?
How do I work more efficiently? I want to learn that. But I think that's a very American thing too. You just want to do more and more and more.
No rest allowed.
Yeah. So maybe I shouldn't do that. But
maybe you can be more efficient to then just go and sit out in your dragon boat and just enjoy the scenery.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I worry. I think it's a lot of us. Once we find more time, we spend it.
Then you fill it.
Yeah, you fill it, and then it's just a vicious cycle. So, okay, maybe you hold me accountable. Say no working.
Okay.
On this time, like during this time.
Just take a break.
Yeah.
Relax. Enjoy what you have around you.
But efficiency.
Okay. What's the favorite city you have visited?
Ooh. What's your favorite city? Can you?
Gosh, I like 25 cities just like popped into my head. I really loved going to Paris years ago, and it was like my first trip to like leave the United States, and so it was just like a cool experience, and I feel like you'd seen pictures of the Eiffel Tower all growing up and you kind of romanticized it and we loved it. And so that was kind of like when we really first got into like being able to travel and go places. And then after that, I could give you a list of 100 of my favorite cities. So
I guess I'll pick Rome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The history of it, the significance and what it stands for. And it's just beautiful architecture.
Yeah. We don't have that here. We don't have that. No, everything's new.
I'm trying to think like maybe this DC or Boston maybe have a little bit, but not quite like that.
Yeah, I've never been, but just from pictures I see, I don't feel like
well, not cool. Yes, cool is now that with the Pope passing. So now I have a reference. I'm like, oh, I actually know where this is.
Oh, you're like, I've been there.
Yeah, and then when they talk about like where the conclave happens, I'm like, oh, I know where it is.
Yeah, that is. So we went to Tokyo right before COVID, and that's when like the Olympics were over there. And so we saw like all the construction projects going up, and then like we could see the Olympics, which everything was closed down. But I was like, I've been to that Shibuya station. I've been to this little park that they just showed. And so that was really neat.
The connection and the reference. So I think like, you can Google Earth everything, but it doesn't.
You're not there.
Yeah, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be there.
What, and this may not apply to you, what is your favorite construction project you have been a part of?
Yeah, I haven't been I
I'll
haven't
take that one out.
Yeah. And there was also a year I wanted to say no more. So, but I think starting out, I think be curious.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you don't, then you're never going to be given those opportunities. And what was your favorite quote to
How hard can it be?
How hard can it be? Yeah. I like that. Is there anything else? I feel like we had a couple notes here. Oh, one thing you mentioned on your notes, you talked about community and how much it matters for you. And I thought it was interesting because you wrote DFW is a magnet for transplants.
Yeah.
And I'm a transplant, you're a transplant, but I really do feel like this is a community and you do too.
Yeah.
So do you have anything else?
So I don't have any blood relative in the whole country. So my community has been like just people I meet along the way. The dragon boating or paddling has helped me build a very solid community. But like being a part of association also gives me the sense of community. I think that's why I'm so drawn to this line of work, like in the kind of position that I'm in. I aspire to be the person that connect people to people to resources. I think I have somehow with unintentionally has positioned myself in that and to be that, and I'm proud of that. And I just can't imagine if it's still just me and my husband. My husband is very introverted. He's just him. He'd be happy if nobody bothers him
for the rest of his life.
For the rest of and I'm just here like holding on to people. And there's just through the paddling club through the years, so many people have moved. They start new in a brand new place as a grown person that has history, that have connections elsewhere. So if I can be a part of making them feel connected to the place, I want that.
That's really nice because not everybody does that.
I say that, but I think I also spread myself too thin. So But anyways, I tried. I want to do that.
Nice. That is everything that we have on here. I will include the Zweig website, LinkedIn, your paddle club information. Is there anything else that I need to put in show notes?
Unless there is an SMPS link I could do.
Okay.
But maybe the committee, the Human Experience Committee. I think that's where Elevate Her is gonna be.
Okay.
Become a part of.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Get that information over to me, and that is it.
Thank you, but I'm gonna put it on your calendar, May 18th.
Okay.
At least to stop by and meet again. Yeah.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope this has been helpful to others.
I think it'll be good. Yeah. Thank you.